Hello, this is Crystal Racing with the report for the 2022 Monaco Grand Prix. 6 days late, I know, but better late than never. Sergio Perez won the race and gets a 9.5 out of 10 from me. Um, very nice timing of him to crash on the final lap in qualifying, wasn't it? But unlike the great Michael Schumacher, who was given a penalty and sent straight to the back of the grid for his antics in 2006, Perez got off scot-free due to the fact he actually made contact to the wall and damaged his car. And having started third, waited for many laps behind the two Ferraris, waited for Ferrari to screw up Leclerc's race with a terrible strategy call. Perez jumped ahead of both Sainz and Leclerc, took the lead, and that was that. Even with Red Bull putting him and Verstappen on medium tyres, meaning that they were struggling for pace after the restart, Perez did not put a foot wrong. Yes, I know he looked up on a restart, but that's because he had to avoid a pigeon. Very sharp, very good eyesight, I've got to say, that guy has, not unlike me, but gotta say, it's only his third career victory, and he got absolutely royally drunk on the yacht after the race. Kimi Raikkonen would approve. Second place, Carlos Sainz, 9.5 out of 10 after a terrible start to the season. Yes, I know, in qualifying he had committed yet another error by, of course, once Perez spun and crashed into the wall. Sainz spun and made contact with Perez and had a bit of damage to his car, but Sainz made his own strategy call, went against his team and paid dividends for it, and of course got a well-deserved second place, because let's face it, when you're at Ferrari, you really are by yourself when it comes to pit calls, and if you know how to make a good come in at the right time, it's going to come in handy. And boy oh boy, Sainz's ability to think on the go worked fantastically well. Max Verstappen, 9 out of 10, extends his championship lead after Leclerc's troubles. Not his finest weekend, but frankly though, on a track like Monaco where you can't overtake, it was damage limitation and he did a very good job of that. Charles Leclerc, very unlucky, should have won the race. 9.5 out of 10. I'm giving him half, I'm not giving him a full 10 because maybe he could have overridden the team strategy call, but I've got to say, though, Ferrari really should be ashamed of himself because once again, Ferrari bottle another pit call. They will never learn their lesson. Like, as a Kimi Raikkonen fan, I have lost count the number of times they screwed up a strategic call. And they are literally the only team I can think of that can snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Embarrassing. Little jokers, I've got to say. George Russell, 5th place, continues his start to the season with his run of top fives. I think that's now his 5th consecutive top 5 finish. Very strong start to his career at Mercedes. Out-qualified Hamilton in qualifying and, well, pretty much stayed as close to the top 4 as he possibly could, driving that absolute pile of garbage that is the Mercedes W13. But George Russell is maximising every opportunity, and you've got to give him credit for that. 6th place, Lando Norris, 10 out of 10. Still slightly ill from tonsillitis, but once again, Lando maximising his McLaren, putting it to good use. I mean, yes, he did do a pit stop to set the fastest lap, but gotta say, he's been driving impeccably well, just like his fellow young Brit. 7th place, Fernando Alonso, 9 out of 10, his best result of the season. Now puts him on 8 points for the season, but of course he's still a long way behind Ocon in the Drivers' Championship, but there was that part of the race where he was 3 seconds off the pace. I'm not sure whether he was doing it to deliberately annoy Lewis Hamilton, but, it was a bit dodgy. But having said that, though, when he started driving a lot quicker, it did make you sit there and think, what was that all about, Fernando? Some fairly questionable antics, I've got to say. Don't really approve. Hence, if it wasn't for that, he'd be getting 9.5 out of 10, but for his dodgy behaviour and driving ridiculously miles off the pace, and funnily enough, just ruining Ocon's race, because of course Ocon picked up a 5-second penalty for whacking Hamilton into the wall. Yeah, it costed Ocon a points finish, so that's not really what I would call team player behaviour. 8th place, Lewis Hamilton, 8 out of 10. Got out by Russell, and then of course his pit call went wrong, and then he got stuck behind Fernando Alonso, and then and it was just, his difficult start to the season continues. Russell once again, Hamilton is stuck in Russell's pocket yet again. This time not entirely his fault, just like in Spain, it wasn't his fault there either. But I have to say, it really does seem like Hamilton, even if he does get a car capable of fighting for an 8th World Championship, it's going to be up against a teammate who will not back down. 9th place is Hamilton's ex-teammate, Valtteri Bottas, 8 out of 10. Yet again, another great job making the most of the Alfa Romeo. I didn't see much of what Valtteri did, but frankly, that's because, he drove so well that the TV cameras had no reason. In fact, I'm going to give Valtteri Bottas an 8.5 out of 10. That was a very good drive. And of course, in 10th place, the last point scorer, Sebastian Vettel, 9 out of 10. Gotta say, every time he's finished a race at Monaco, he has always scored a point, and his run continues. He's always done well around the streets of the Principality. And thanks to Ocon's penalty, he gets promoted to the top 10. 11th place, Pierre Gasly, 9 out of 10. Yes, I know he screwed up qualifying, but that was because, of course, Tsunoda tagged the barriers, and then, of course, Gasly couldn't set a fast enough qualifying lap time. He arguably, maybe, actually, you know what, I'll give him 8 out of 10, because you could argue Gasly probably did cost himself a points finish due to the fact he didn't set a fast enough qualifying time, but the fact of the matter is, his comeback drive through the field was great. He got past Ricciardo, made an early call to go on the intermediate tyres. He struggled for a bit, but then he was much faster as the track dried out. Gotta say, if it wasn't for the fact this is Monaco, I think he would have got the points. 12th place, Esteban Ocon, 5 out of 10. Very, very dodgy move there on Hamilton. Over-aggressive. Pushing him into the wall at the going past the pit lane, not warranted. Absolutely bang out of order. I've got to say, Esteban Ocon does have a habit of doing some dodgy things when he starts getting close, when he goes wheel to wheel with some people. 13th place, Daniel Ricciardo, 3 out of 10. Unacceptable. Just nowhere near good enough. Miles off the pace of a teammate who's been quite ill recently. But Ricciardo continues to flounder, and I have to say, McLaren have got to start wondering whether, if this continues, he definitely will not be driving a McLaren next season. And if this continues further, I think he might not even be at the team after the summer break. 14th place, Lance Stroll, 5 out of 10. It was just a Lance Stroll performance, really. He never does well around Monaco. 15th place, Nicholas Latifi, 6 out of 10. Got the bear of Albon, although I have to say Albon did get a time penalty and a puncher, hence allowing Latifi to get ahead. But having said that, Latifi does what he usually does, keep his nose clean, don't do anything stupid. As long as he doesn't go and tag the barriers or anything, he does alright, not great. And I've got to give him 6 out of 10 due to the fact he did get ahead, he did finish ahead of 2 faster cars. 16th place, Ganyu Zhou, 5 out of 10. Produced a wonderful save when he tried to overtake Tsunoda, but then he overshot the chicane. But having said that, though, he did get past Tsunoda again. Don't know what happened to Tsunoda, but both of them really had a poor race, to be honest. Tsunoda, 4 out of 10. I have no idea what happened, but goodness me, he struggled so much in the race, miles off the pace. His lack of consistency is so bad. He's the sort of driver who really does well with a car and the track suits him, because if the car and the track does not suit his driving style, he's nowhere to be seen. And that lack of adaptability reared its ugly head yet again. Alex Albon, 18th and the final finisher of the race. Yes, he's had a great season so far, but today was by far his worst performance of the season. Constantly cutting track limits, holding other people up whilst being lapped and ignoring blue flags. I don't know whether he was throwing a massive sulk because of how many problems the car was having around here, because of course the way that Williams has decided it's designed to be low drag. but also kind of lacking a bit of downforce to trim it out for those super fast tracks like Silverstone, Spa and Monza. But so hence when they come to a track like Monaco, they're always going to be struggling. But today Albon was just obscenely poor. I have to say, giving him 5 out of 10 was probably generous. I mean, the only reason why I gave him 5 out of 10 is because, when he was in clean air, he was very fast, but my God, some of his driving, when it came to blue flags and the track limits, was just absolutely bang out of order, not acceptable. First retiree was a mix, and of course, I think, did Albon retire? I think he did retire. I think he just threw in the towel, so I think it was Tsunoda who finished last, actually, sorry. Mick Schumacher retired from the race, of course, that huge crash, 2 out of 10. Miles behind Kevin Magnussen qualifying, and just miles off the pace, and when he spun and crashed, it was just like, here we go again, horse, you're running on a limited budget, and Mick Schumacher continues to compound that damage bill. I mean, last year he had incurred the biggest damage bill, of something like almost £5 million, and once again he continues to, burn the team's budget away. I mean, is this acceptable? I don't think so. Like, all that money that could be getting spent on development, it's once again getting spent on fixing cars that Mick shoves in the wall. Not acceptable, man. Reject of the race for me. And of course, Kevin Magnussen retired early on. I think it was a mechanical failure. I'm giving him 7 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Crystal Racing. And if you want to watch my thoughts on the England game against Hungary, as well as, of course, Scotland's defeat to Ukraine, go to Siren Football there, and I'll see you again next time.